knew we wanted to follow the cycles, not necessarily our own internal physical cycles, because they don't always line up. But we thought, you know what? The calendar has when the new moon is and when the full moon is. And we know that the energies wax and wane with the moon. We actually start we call them period plannings because that made me laugh. So, so we go from new moon to new moon is how the smallest part of our planning goes. And the beautiful thing about the new moon is that it's inside, right? It's connecting inside. It's deep energy. And there's a lot going on emotionally normally during that time. The veils are super thin. And then we find that as we go through the period, the available energy to go external grows up until you get to the full moon, which is the great place to launch new things, hold events, right? Just to really be out in the world, to do more networking, to do more sales, all of that stuff and delivery can all happen in that sweet spot that isn't just on the full moon. It's actually the week on either side of it, right? Because it's going up and then it starts coming down. And then the last week before the next new moon is like closing off projects, getting things done, tidying things up, clean your desk, back to inside things. And we found that once we started doing it in that way, it flowed beautifully. Now, now there's 4 weeks in a period. So we decided that it would be great if there were 4 periods in what we call a cycle. Again, made me giggle. So there are 4 plans. There's 4 periods in a cycle. So the cycle starts off a little lower, but what do I want to achieve over those 4 periods? And the 2 periods in the middle are the biggest focus of what I'm doing, and then all the cleaning up of projects and things at the end of that cycle. So it holds the same flow, even inside we have this flow. Now, there are 4 cycles that we put together, and we call it a giraffe because a giraffe is roughly how long that it gestates a new giraffe. A baby giraffe takes about 15-ish months before it's born. So we use periods, cycles, and giraffes. So one of the things that we're inviting members to join in with us is that before this giraffe ends, we need to do our giraffe planning for giraffe 3. And that takes us 3 days to do giraffe planning because the first thing we want to do is pull cards. We start all of our planning by pulling cards from our favorite decks to find out what's going on. We have a really huge belief in the fact that our own unconscious minds have access to our higher selves and everything we need. And the cards, or if you do runes, is a great place to focus, to be able to really separate those messages from all of the mental stuff that's going around, just to get some clarity around the focus that you've already chosen for yourself. We spend the 3 days that way. We go through, we're planning out what we're doing. Day 2 is normally about what it is what about us is standing in the way of what it is that we think that we want to have. Because often what happens is you create these plans and then you hear what's going on. You find out whether or not you're aligned with what you want. And we do some personal work on day 2. And on day 3, we actually look at what are the themes for each of the cycles. What is the focus in cycle 1, cycle 2, cycle 3, cycle 4, and start working on the planning for the first period. So over the 3 days, we've gleaned everything we can learn from our planning before or the year before, everything that's going on with us that we need so that we're fully connected and aligned with what we're doing for the giraffe. And so that's the big planning that happens. Then before a cycle planning is a full day. And we want to get together, all of us as members, to do our cycle planning so that we can talk with each other, ask each other questions, and really get to the bottom of how the last cycle went and what we need to do in the next cycle. And is it aligned? Are we still in the same place we thought we were going to be when we did the giraffe planning? What kinds of reporting and numbers are we bringing to that so that we have validation and we're just not working on how we feel about it? Data is important. And so we do executive status reports that allow us to really look holistically, but realistically about what have we actually accomplished? How far are we going against plan? Do we need to change something? Are there risks? Like what are the critical success factors, what we're doing? Like, we haven't left all business principles at the door here. It's about merging them together in a way that really helps us. The actual period planning is normally just like a couple of hours, an hour and a half, right? And we do that at new moon and we do a full moon check in, right? And the ways that let us feel like we can actually get things done and accomplish our goals while still being women and balanced between the masculine and feminine inside our business.
Welcome to the Big Blue Door membership. This is a group of amazing entrepreneurs building a successful life that contains a successful business. Big Blue Door opens every Wednesday for our virtual workspace where entrepreneurs come together to connect, to learn, and to work, creating a beautiful bridge inside of the week that allows each entrepreneur to get the support that they are looking for and the connections and community that are really going to support their business. In between, we have a vibrant community where we have connections and opportunities to reach out, ask for help, share, and grow together. We have magical membership elements, the virtual workspace, the community, and a ton of member resources, recordings of videos and trainings, membership training course, as well as this robust moon cycle planning that we'll be doing together as a membership.